For Southeast Sports.
Warner Robins sophomore quarterback Shane Sams stepped in early in the season when starter Mark Wright suffered a knee injury. And while he's not flashy, he's improved every week, leading the defending state champs to a 9-1 regular season record. Douglas County tackle Conrad Thomas might be the biggest college prospect on the field tonight, and we mean big. At 6'5", 335, this senior is vital protection for the Tigers' fast break offense. Tonight, it's the first round of the Georgia State playoffs. Warner Robins in Douglas County, and it's next on CSS. Live from Tiger Stadium in Douglasville, Georgia, Comcast presents the Chevrolet High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight, the first round of the Georgia State Quad A playoffs, where tonight, the Douglas County Tigers play host to the defending state champion. Come back to Tiger Stadium in Douglasville, Georgia. Matt Stewart along with Chuck Oliver, the third member of our broadcast crew, is Chris Cotter, and he's down on the sideline.
Thanks, Matt. You know, this Warner Robins team, not only are they the defending state champion, they're 23-1-1 in their last 25 games. And yet, because they lost that one game to their rival Northside Warner Robins just 2 weeks ago, they may have to play every single game in this state playoffs on the road because they're the 3 seed coming out of their region. It's going to be tough for them, but hey, if anybody can do it, it's Warner Robins. Let's send it back up to you, Matt.
All right, thank you, Chris. Brian Way, 23-1-1 in his 2 years as the head coach of the Warner Robins Demons. His only loss, an overtime loss to Northside. And there you see Phil Williams, his 13th year as the head coach at his alma mater. A line drive kick going to be taken by LaRon Scott, and he'll bring it up the middle. LaRon Scott up across the 30-yard line to the 34, and that's where the Warner Robins Demons will put the ball in play to start this ball game. The Demons in the white jerseys, white pants, and the cardinal numbers, and there's their starting quarterback, Shane Sams, the 6-foot, 150-pound sophomore, took over as the starting quarterback when the junior Mark Wright suffered a torn ACL early in the season. Handoff, first carry, the fullback, Darius Rump, not much on the carry for the Demons. And here's a look at the Metro PCS starting lineup for the Demons. Scott, Clark, Luciano, Willie, and Hupp up front. Anderson, Rump, and Hamilton in the backfield. Richardson is the split in, and Scott is the tight end. So second down, and let's call it 9, with the ball at the 35-yard line. Anderson goes in motion behind the line. Handoff to the wingback. Hamilton on the carry. Hamilton gets to the 40-yard line, tackled by Desmond Stewart. And here's a look at the Metro PCS starting lineup for the Tigers on defense, with Maxwell, Jocelyn, Singletary, and Harris up front. The linebackers Lumbus, Stewart, who just made the tackle, and McAllister. And in the secondary, Neal, Edens, Robinson, and Henderson. So a third down and 4 with the ball just shy of the 40-yard line. Anderson and Rump line up in the backfield, and then Hamilton in motion at the top of your screen. Handoff, Anderson gets stuck at the line of scrimmage and driven back. No gain on the play, and it's going to be 4th down, and Warner Robins facing a punting situation.
As I always tell you with that wing T offense, Matt Stewart, watch that strong side guard. 90% of the time, he's going to take you straight to the football. It's just a little misdirection. You got 2 lead backs, and Mr. Henderson not able to get free. One thing you got to do, though, against this wing T offense, try and string it out. Slow down that misdirection and all those fakes, and you're going to have a lot of your teammates get there defensively. Wow. Spun him around with a face mask that goes uncalled, and you're going to wind up with a 4th and 4 where you got to punt.
So Dominique Davenport standing at his 26-yard line to punt for Douglas, or for Warner Robins, rather. And he gets the kick away, a high kick that hits at the 30-yard line. No return on that one, and that's where the Douglas County Tigers will put the ball in play for the first time tonight. And here is Ricky Dobbs, the senior quarterback. As Chuck mentioned to you at the top of the broadcast, he's already got an offer from the Naval Academy. Going to pay a visit to Georgia Southern this weekend, visited Western Carolina last weekend. He's got over 2,600 yards of total offense, over 1,900 yards through the air. And he brings a Douglas County offense out that is averaging 419 yards total offense per game, 212 rush and 208 pass. That kind of balance you don't usually see at the high school level.
And you're going to have to work off some of those fakes and sprint outs and bootlegs and half rolls, things like that, to get Dobbs on the move. That's a different formation.
Wow, everybody goes in motion and sets. Dobbs, and a flag goes down. They might have had too many people in motion or never got somebody set on that offensive line.
Well, the problem is you're going to have somebody put his hand on the ground and decided he wanted to move in motion at the same time as someone else.
Earl Wilkerson is your referee tonight. And offsides is the call against Douglas County. A 5-yard mark-off against the Tigers. Joby Boydstone is the offensive coordinator for head coach Phil Williams. The basketball coach has had great success with the basketball program. He's brought a run and gun spread offense style of play to this Douglas County offense this season. Stewart in motion. Toss goes to Robinson. Not much doing for Robinson. In fact, Robinson may have actually lost some yards on the play. As we take a look at the Tigers Metro PCS starting lineup with Thomas, Reimer, Holder, and Abbasi, and Watson up front. Page and Robinson, the ball carriers. Jones and Cummings, the wide receivers, and Pipkins is the tight end.
And they got about 650 pounds worth of offensive tackle on this Douglas County offense.
Big old Conrad Thomas, the offensive tackle, probably the biggest name prospect out on the field here tonight. Handoff goes to the fullback, Desmond Stewart, pulling his way forward to the 34-yard line. Going to be short of the first down by about 7 or 8 yards as we take a look at the Demons on defense. Felder, Wood, Ambler, and Sanders up front. Buford, Singletary, and Rose are the linebackers. Gray, Davenport, Purdue, and Scott in the secondary.
Good game there on second down. The only problem was you gave away 5 with that offsides call, so now you're still looking at a 3rd and 7.
Third down now. Handoff. Looked like Desmond Stewart on the carry again, and not much doing on that play for Douglas County as they're going to come up short on the first down. That was actually not Stewart, Levante Page, the tailback, on the carry that time. And now it's going to be 4th down as Douglas County runs 3 straight plays on the ground, no balls through the air, and it's a punting situation for the Tigers.
And if you look through these brackets and the classifications, Matt Stewart, you can find the occasional 4 and 6, the occasional 5 and 5 team. It's not the case tonight. We have 2 outstanding teams. They all have speed. They all have size. They can take care of the football and move it downfield. Warner Robins defense up to the task there. They did give up the 10 yards, interestingly enough, but it's not a first down for the Tigers.
Ricky Dobbs has the punt blocked. It goes forward, and I think Douglas County's going to catch a break here or not. I think they're going to call the ball dead. They thought that Warner Robins had touched it at the 46-yard line, and it certainly looked like a Warner Robins player got very close to touching that ball, which would have made it a live ball for Douglas County. Let's take a look at it here at the 46-yard line.
And that's somebody coming through untouched right up the middle, which is where you're most likely going to get your blocks. That ball starts rattling around.
Roderick Page, number 40, comes right up the gut and blocks the punt. Now, did Warner Robins touch it right there?
See, if Warner Robins, if a Douglas County player touched it past the line of scrimmage, doesn't matter what happens.
Larry Richardson, it's hard to tell whether he touched it or not. Douglas County thought he had.
But if a Douglas County player had already touched it,
right, it's dead.
Doesn't matter.
So that's what the officials ruled, and Warner Robins has it at the 46-yard line. Brandon Anderson on the carry. Brandon Anderson picks up about 5 or 6 yards on the play, down to the 41-yard line. Brandon Anderson, first year as a starter, replaced Alton Sanders. Sanders now running for Middle Tennessee State, rushed for over 2,100 yards a year ago. You talk about big shoes to fill. Anderson's not done too bad. He's close to 1,200 yards on the season.
And in the best run wing T offenses, Matt, your third option is clearly your fullback, but normally he may average 7 or 8 yards a carry, and that's the case we have tonight.
Second down, Powell, the fullback, picks up a first down or close to it, depending upon the spot, at around the 37-yard line. First time we've seen Ryan Powell, the fullback, a 5'8", 175 junior, carry the ball.
Yeah, Powell came out of there rolling around about the 35-yard line. We talk about a bad spot.
Powell on the season, that was his 40th carry.
That's what we said.
4.4 yards per carry.
Clearly the third option there, but still effective.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
This is a team, Matt, that goes for over 3,200 yards on the ground this season. Very impressive from the Demons.
Handoff, Powell again. Powell has the first down. Powell brought down at about the 34-yard line. First down. Powell felt like he had never touched the ground. We'd have to see the replay. The officials called him down, so it doesn't matter. But did his knee ever touch the ground? Powell didn't seem to think so.
Well, he breaks that plane and then breaks the tackle, and he is down.
Wow. No, I don't know. But anyway, the officials called him down at the 34, and that's all that counts. But Powell thought that his knee never touched. Now look and see if you can see any air between his knee and the ground.
He thought he spun out of it. It's hard to see with the shadow there. We'll go with the ref's call this time.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Demons at the 34-yard line. Double handoff. There's Hamilton. Hamilton gets down to the 30-yard line before he's stopped by Jay Lumbus, the linebacker, and that's the beauty of that wing T offense. They get that double handoff from Sams to the running back Anderson and then to the wing back Hamilton.
Yeah, some teams are going to call that the special. Some call it the crisscross. You get that wing back coming back underneath, and he follows that lead blocker straight into the hole. There are sometimes you'll see running back linebackers going to opposite sidelines, and that wing back back underneath will split right between them and head to the end zone.
2nd down and 5. Hamilton goes in motion. Back to pass is Sams going up top for Holland, and Holland can't run it down in the middle of the end zone. Dwight Henderson, the cornerback, was running stride for stride with him as they tried to get it to Judd Holland, and now it's going to be 3rd down.
Now, Sam's quarterback, he got a face full of Derek Jocelyn on that play as he lets go of the football, but a great time to throw the football in the wing T offense. You're looking at about a 3rd and 5, basically. That's when you do want to run that play action, maybe catch somebody downfield wide open.
3rd down and 5 from the 30. Handoff to Anderson, gets hit in the backfield and dropped. What a big tackle by Jay Lumbus, the linebacker. Drops him for a 5-yard loss, and it's 4th down.
And if you want to call him a linebacker, that's technically accurate. They had 8 defensive linemen on that play, though. There was going to be no running room. The alignment there just dictated the linemen that Warner Robins wanted to get out front were not going to be able to get to their blocks. The one rule in the wing T, if you're an offensive lineman, no penetration. You had 2 or 3 Douglas County Tigers in the backfield on that play.
Lumbus with 101 total tackles on the season, 73 solo, and now on 4th and 10, Warner Robins will go for it. Hamilton goes in motion. Sams back to pass, going up top, and can't get it to Brandon Anderson at the 4-yard line. Chance Edens, the safety, running stride for stride with him, and the ball goes over on downs. 4:47 to play in the opening quarter. Douglas County and Warner Robins scoreless. You're watching the Chevy Game of the Week on CSF. And welcome back. 4:47 to play in the opening quarter. Warner Robins and Douglas County, first round of the Quad A state playoffs here in the state of Georgia. Douglas County back on offense for the 2nd time tonight. Stewart goes in motion, sprinting towards the line of scrimmage. Handoff goes to Carl Robinson, and Carl Robinson is out to the 41-yard line before being tackled by Jordan Sanders.
You mentioned Stewart going in motion. We mentioned him in the pregame, his prowess at linebacker. But Desmond Stewart is a guy that they're going to try and get locked up on a linebacker for passes down the field.
Carl Robinson, you see his numbers on the season. Carl Robinson actually has more receptions than carries as a fullback in this spread offense. Stewart goes in motion. Now, no, that's Robinson, and they're going to throw it out here complete to Jawan Jones, and Jones is up to the 49-yard line. Jawan Jones, all 6'6", outstanding basketball player here in this Douglas County program, picks up the first down at the 49-yard line.
Xavier Jackson comes flying over to help make that tackle, and, you know, it's rare that you can say a gain of what are you going to give him, Matt, 6 or 7 yards on that play? Very well defended by the Warner Robins Demons tonight. 1st and 10, right about midfield, just before midfield, but that was a heck of a defensive play there, just well designed and executed perfectly. Good job getting that lead blocker out there for your wide receiver.
26th catch of the year for Jawan Jones, 6'6", came in from Ohio a year ago. Now Dobbs out of the shotgun, running some option. Dobbs cuts back in the middle of the field, picked up about 3 on the play before being tackled by Brian Buford.
I don't believe in all the years I've either played, coached, or commented on football games, I've ever seen the power I formation out of a shotgun. I didn't think it was possible.
They just did it right there. Dobbs picked up 3 yards. It's 2nd down and 6. Let's say he got 4 then. And again, same formation. Wow.
That offset power I.
Handoff. Not much doing that time as they give it to Jonathan Cummings. Cummings picked up maybe 1 yard on the play.
One of the dangerous things about that is you put your quarterback in more of a position to actually view the holes, and so you could have that man advantage. Anytime that quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage with the football or as a blocker, then you're a man up on the defense, because normally in the running game you're not going to account for the quarterback.
So now it's going to be third down and 6. They didn't get anything on that one. Approaching the 2.5-minute mark of the first quarter, what has been a fast first quarter. Dobbs fakes a handoff, fakes the throw. Now he's scrambling to his right. Got room to run. Dobbs cuts back in the middle, and Dobbs gets down to the 41-yard line. Dobbs is going to be close to a first down.
That was a fantastic job of Ricky Dobbs making something out of not much at all. This is taken really from that old Air Force, that double slot thing that Ken Hatfield used to like to run, that down the field option look, and then you drop back and throw the football. What you're going to do is suck up those defensive backs. You're going to have a receiver acting like he's going to block, and then he breaks free. Again, it wasn't there. You have disciplined defense from the Demons. What you did have is a great individual play by Ricky Dobbs. He is the real deal.
They're going to bring the chains across to see if Dobbs and Douglas County picked up the first down. There's a good look at it right there on your television screen at home, and they're going to be short by, what, about a yard?
Yeah,
a little bit less.
You're on their side of the field. You seriously consider going for it here?
I think so.
I mean, you have that offensive firepower. And the interesting thing, we talked about Bobby Rainey from Griffin. We've talked about some of the other quarterbacks we've seen this year. I don't know if we've seen a quarterback with this kind of speed and athleticism that can also be a true passer.
Well, we haven't seen him try to get the ball downfield through the air just yet. Let's see what they do here on fourth down and a yard.
Weak side, Matt. There's nobody out there on that weak side.
Quarterback keeper, and Dobbs has the first down. Dobbs gets it just across the 40-yard line, and a first down for the Douglas County Tigers.
Radically different result from the first time we saw that last week. Sandy Creek tries a quarterback sneak out of its own end zone, turns into 7 points for Creekside. Douglas County just a little more efficient running that play.
Creekside, the only team to beat Douglas County this year. Douglas County lost to Creekside by about 3 touchdowns in their third game of the season. They have not been touched since. 7 strong weeks, blew out everybody by at least 3 touchdowns. So it's 1st and 10. Page and Robinson flanking. Dobbs in the backfield. Dobbs going to run it again. Dobbs scrambling, nothing doing that time. Dobbs gets dropped for a loss by the linebacker, Brian Buford.
Interesting formation there. Demarius Pitkins and Jonathan Cummings, 2 wide receivers. Douglas County goes twins to the near side. They have both those guys lined up outside the numbers, hoping to create a run lane. But the Demons defense, too fast, too disciplined. They played assignment football, stayed at home. Sometimes you run that formation to draw those D-backs way far away from where the football is snapped to create a running lane. Did not work that play, 2nd and 13.
Dobbs goes back to the shotgun. Keeps it, wants to throw. Looking downfield, firing, complete to Cummings at the 30-yard line, and he gets waylaid by LaRon Scott at the 30-yard line, just shy of the first down. Cummings made quite a grab. Scott laid on quite a lick.
And you have to have great protection, because for that drag route all the way across the field to come open, your quarterback has to be able to stand there and watch. Now, you know what?
Let's listen in here down at field level. That's nasty.
Give LaRon Scott credit. That was a huge hit. I'd rather see the kid bend his knees, get his head across, and wrap up.
So 3rd down and 1 now. Dobbs sends Robinson in motion. And now movement by Faison. The tailback, the 1-back, David Faison, took a step forward. That's going to cost him 5 yards on 3rd and 1.
And also, Conrad Thomas got leaning forward. I don't know if you can hold it against Conrad Thomas. When he starts getting a little momentum in one direction.
Phil Williams unhappy.
Should be.
This will be the final play of the first quarter. Instead of 3rd and 1, now it's 3rd and 6. Clock running again. Will Douglas County get off the snap before the clock runs out? They do. Dobbs back to pass, going for it all up top for Juwan Jones in the end zone, and knocked away at the last moment by Maurice Gray.
A lot of air under the ball. It had to be. That was a single coverage route to the top side of the field. Great recovery there by number 11, Maurice Gray.
Wide open first quarter. We played 20 minutes, or played 12 minutes. Douglas County and Warner Robins are still scoreless. Start of the second quarter. Matt Stewart, Chuck Oliver, and Chris Cutter with you. Let's take a look back at the final play of the first quarter. Super play by Maurice Gray. We talked about him at the top of the broadcast, and watch him break up a certain touchdown pass to Juwan Jones.
Not even concerned with the receiver. Gray playing that football the entire time. He's good enough to do that. And you know what? Impressive commentary, though, by that offensive staff from Douglas County. That was a true four-receiver route. Let Dobbs choose his receivers. I think that deep pass was probably his third or fourth option.
Fourth down from the 36. This is the first play of the second quarter. Cummings goes in motion behind the line. Dobbs makes a handoff, rolls to his left, looking, going for the home run ball again, looking for Cummings, and again it's broken up by Maurice Gray. Try somebody else. Boy, what a super play back-to-back by Maurice Gray.
Matt Stewart, you may go an entire season and not see two better examples of a cornerback playing the football. You see, it doesn't matter where the receiver is. It matters where the football is. Did not make contact. He elevates. He's not trying to intercept it. Knock the thing out of the back of the end zone. That's textbook. Film that thing. Show it to younger kids. This is how you play defensive back in Georgia.
Maurice Gray, 5'10", 170-pound senior. He's going to play on Saturday. First down and 10 for Warner Robins. Toss goes to Antoine Hamilton. Hamilton, the wingback, has room to run. Uh-oh! Watch Antoine Hamilton. Little jitterbug move about the 40-yard line. Gets him down to the 31.
It is almost universal in the best run wing T offenses. In order, your options are tailback, wingback, fullback. The reason the wingback can be so devastating is you start following that strong guard. You start watching where that tailback is, and then something will spring. Remember, you have to be very patient to run the wing T. Stuff, 35-yard gain. That's what the wing T is all about.
I love the way he read his block downfield. Handoff goes to Brandon Anderson. He's got a blocker out there. Oh! Block. Brandon Anderson off to the races down the sideline. Brandon Anderson finally run out of bounds inside the 15-yard line after a devastating block by Stephen Clark, the guard.
Block, singular. How about two of them? Give Clark a couple of helmet stickers on that one. He not only gets out and cuts off that pursuit from the linebacker, he gets further downfield and makes a second block. Outstanding job by number 60, Stephen Clark. You see the tail end of the play there, Brandon Anderson, but that's what an offensive lineman's supposed to do, get on the move.
First and 10, just outside the 15-yard line. Nothing doing on that play right there.
That is the number one play for the fullback in a wing T. It's called basically 32 bend back trap. 3 back through the 2-hole, and he bends it back to the strong side. He's going to take that to the weak side of the formation, and when he gets to the line of scrimmage, curve back around the quarterback and go to that strong side. Nothing there that time.
So second down and 9 with the ball at the 15-yard line. Handoff Brandon Anderson. He's got Clark out there blocking for him again. Brandon Anderson will score from 15 yards out, and the defending state champs take a 6-0 lead.
And it was Clark and also Matt Wiley, Willie, you're talking about that strong side guard. We've told you he will take you to the football. Watch that strong side guard, 53, and then Clark, number 60, coming back around. He's going to take you straight to the football. Brandon Anderson splits his blockers, and he is in the end zone. That was too easy. You know what it was? Well executed by Warner Robins against a very, very good defense.
Brandon Anderson with the 15-yard touchdown run. Clark, the kicker, puts it through, and the Warner Robins Demons have taken a 7-0 lead in the opening minute and 13 seconds of the second quarter. For Brandon Anderson, 4 plays, 64 yards. They did it in 1 minute and 3 seconds.
And 3 deep backs for the Douglas County Tigers. Rare you see that. You can't kick away from 3 guys, can you?
No, unless you kick it over their heads. Lobertini kicks it high. Juwan Jones will take it at the 6-yard line. Juwan Jones right up the middle. Juwan Jones up to the 42-yard line. Nice return. Maurice Gray made the tackle on special teams, and good field position for Douglas County. Let's check in with Chris Cotter.
Thanks, Matt. You know, we talk about these two offenses and how they differ, and how Warner Robins is really more of a ball control offense, and how Douglas County can get up and down the field throwing the football. Well, Warner Robins, they've outscored their opponents 258 to 38 in the first half so far this year, so they're not used to having to come from behind. This Douglas County team might have an easier shot at it with the way they throw the football.
All right, thank you, Chris. And Douglas County goes back on offense for the first time here in the second quarter.
That was Mr. Gray on that tackle on special teams. Boy, he does it everywhere, doesn't he, man?
Now Robinson goes in motion, leaving an empty backfield, pass to Juwan Jones. Juwan Jones across the 50-yard line, down to the 49, and close to a first down for Douglas County.
I think he's going to get a first down on that, and you had that multiple receiver formation to the near side. You get it out to Jones, and then two lead blockers against defensive backs. That's not fair.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of career route Juwan Jones takes. He's an outstanding basketball player. This is his first year of playing football. As you see, Warner Robins, 97 yards rushing so far. Douglas County just 24. And now the Tigers split 4 wide receivers to the top of your screen.
That's a string pass again.
Dobbs throws it to Cummings. Jonathan Cummings going to be brought down. Great open field tackle by T.J. Purdue.
Got to get it out there quicker. Ricky Dobbs doesn't need me to tell him how to play quarterback. I think what that was is he wanted to at least peek downfield, see if one of those Warner Robins defensive backs was going to sell out to stop the, and there you see Dobbs peeking downfield, says, you know what, I will take the short route. Unfortunately for him, T.J. Purdue gets into the backfield, tackle for about a 1-yard loss. When a defensive back winds up with a tackle for loss, you know you did something wrong.
Coach Brian Way says Purdue and cornerback LaRon Scott do a good job of reading their keys and being in the right place and making physical tackles right up the middle to run into the teeth of that Demons defense. Levante Page on the carry. Tackle made by the linebacker Jordan Singletary.
And this is the second time tonight we've seen an interesting wrinkle to a formation. Jonathan Cummings, number 1, and then also Juwan Jones, number 6. 2 wide receivers lined up so far wide, they're not even in your picture. There is going to be a deep pass off of that formation at some point because you have true single coverage when they split out that wide.
3rd down and 7. And now Page goes in motion to the top of your screen. Dobbs fakes a handoff. He's under a heavy rush, and now he's starting to scramble. He's going to run it into the middle of the field and not be able to pick up the first down. Brian Buford, the linebacker, was there, and so was Jordan Sanders, and it's 4th down.
Cutbacks will normally work against fast defenses that will over-pursue. When you get into the playoffs, especially when you get just a bear of a first-round matchup like this, the defenses are fast enough to stop, change direction, and then track you down.
4th down, and now Dobbs is standing at his 42-yard line to kick. Maurice Gray deep for Warner Robins at the 14. Dobbs gets it away. A high kick. Gray calls fair catch at the 16-yard line and makes it. And that's where Warner Robins will put the ball in play with 8:07 to play in the first half. Demons go back on offense with a 7-0 lead. You're watching the Chevy Game of the Week on CS. Back 8:07 to play in the first half. Warner Robins leading Douglas County 7-0. Here's the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Other first-round scores for you tonight. Stars Mill and Brunswick tied at 7 second quarter. Upson Lee leading Creekside 7-3. In the second quarter. Harrison and Walton 3-3. That's in the second quarter. Southwest DeKalb leading Tucker 7-0 in the second quarter. Roswell leading McEachern 7-0 in the second quarter. Marist out 14-0 on Columbia in the second quarter. Decula leading Berkmar 7-0 second quarter. Brookwood leading Norcross 7-0 second quarter. Morgan County leading GAC 10-0. That's in the second quarter. First down and 10 for Warner Robins. Back on offense. Handoff goes to Brandon Anderson, and a big hole for him. Brandon Anderson off to the races. Nobody's going to catch Brandon Anderson as he pulls away from the pack and scores on an 84-yard touchdown run.
Douglas County will get a little bit of an advantage on the kickoff return. You're going to have an unsportsmanlike call against Anderson, but guess whose hip he runs off of? Yeah, that would be your strong.
Brandon Anderson, the 5'11", 190-pound senior. And Warner Robins has a 13-0 lead.
You say 19th of the season, second in about 4 minutes.
Yeah. He had 4 last week against Eagles Landing in their region playoff game. Well, let's see. They're going to take the 15-yard mark off the PAT, so this will be an extra long point after attempt for David Clark, the freshman. Judd Holland the hold. They put it down, and Clark with the extra long extra point does not get it. So the penalty on Brandon Anderson comes back to haunt him, but the Demons now have a 2-touchdown lead. 4 minutes, 10 seconds into the second quarter. Warner Robins, lightning strikes quickly for the Demons as Brandon Anderson, just 3 minutes after scoring on a 15-yard touchdown run, takes off for 84 yards, and now Douglas County finds them in the hole they did not want to be in. Lobertini kicks off, and it goes into the end zone. No return for Douglas County, and the Tigers will start from the 20-yard line. So Ricky Dobbs goes back out there on offense. Senior quarterback for Phil Williams. He said he's one of the best kids ever to walk the halls of Douglas County High School. It's going to be a sad day when he leaves.
And this is a high school that's been playing football for quite a while, so that's a bold statement, especially for a guy who not only win here, but remembers the state title game. That's not just a random statement from a guy who's new to the area. He says he remembers that state title 41 years ago.
And let me tell you, when the Naval Academy offers you a scholarship, you're a cut above. Let me tell you. And not every kid in the world is cut out to go to the Naval Academy. Ricky Dobbs is considering it.
What about a partial journalism scholarship to Auburn? Right up there with it, right?
Yeah, right. Dobbs rolling to his left, looking downfield, throwing. It's complete to Jawan Jones. Jones makes a man miss. He's across the 50. Jones finally driven out of bounds around the 35-yard line by Dominique Davenport, and a big strike for the Douglas County Tigers.
Trips to the near side. Jones runs the drag route. You get the other two going deep, and against the flow, there goes Jones. You see guys putting on the brakes. One guy, two guys. You're going to see the third guy get spun right back around, and that frees Jones down the sidelines. And LaRon Scott, pretty good defensive back. Jones treated him like one of those party balloons. You twist into dogs and pretzels and giraffes. Turn him every which way.
First and 10, Douglas County. They've got it at the Warner Robins 33. Jawan Jones, as we told you, a great basketball player. He's a heck of a football player, too. Dobbs firing, overshoots Cummings at the 10-yard line.
Boy, he had an open receiver there, too, didn't he?
LaRon Scott was trailing him.
There was smoke coming off that football. I'm impressed with Dobbs throwing the ball, and it's interesting that after they get down 13-0, you had just commented that we had not seen that fast break, high-octane offense. 5 of 8 tonight, 77 yards. As soon as they're down 13-0, they take the governors off of what they were trying to do.
What's interesting is we haven't seen the no huddle yet. The 3, 4, 5 plays in a row without the huddle.
And that's what really starts to wear out those defensive linemen, trust me.
Second down and 10. 4 wide receivers, empty backfield for Douglas County. Dobbs rolling to his left, has a man over here, overthrows David Faison inside the 30-yard line, and now it's 3rd and 10.
Of course, you can check your AJC scoreboard tomorrow for all the updates, as well as AJC.com. Early reports, it's got to be erroneous. Halftime score, Collins Hill 14-7 over Central Gwinnett. We'll try to get a more reliable score. Maybe somebody there at the site can give us a call.
Timeout has been called by Douglas County. Let's take a look at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard since Chuck brought it up. Washington leading North Forsyth. Comcast, ditch the dish. Dobbs back to pass again on 3rd down. Now he's going to run it. Dobbs hemmed in, and he's going to go down. Antonio Felder, the defensive end, the first line of defense to reach Ricky Dobbs, and now after getting down to the 33-yard line, Douglas County stalls. Let's see what they do with it on 4th and long.
Well, it looks like they're changing a lot of personnel. They're going to be out there punting, but Dobbs actually broke back to the middle where the big uglies hang out. He had green grass to run to towards the top of the field near that Warner Robins sideline.
They're actually going to try a field goal here. Thiago Miera, who is 6 of 9 on field goal attempts, will be kicking from right in the middle of the field. This is a 48-yard attempt.
Who is that again?
Thiago Miera. Ricky Dobbs is the holder, so watch for any kind of tomfoolery. Nope, they put it down, and Miera's got plenty of leg, and he breaks it through.
My goodness.
A 48-yard field goal by Thiago Miera gets Douglas County on the board. 6:31 to play in the half. The Tigers cut the Demons' lead to 10.
Before the game started, he was out here booming 50-yard field goals. Looked like he could do that in his sleep, so that's obviously a weapon that Douglas County is going to be able to use for the rest of the game.
So it's 13-3 now as the Tigers get on the board, and now they'll kick it back to the Demons. Miera, one of those soccer players who walked on at the start of the season, wanted to be the kicker, and Phil Williams said, you bet. Scott's going to take it from the 4-yard line. LaRon Scott to the outside.
Coming back.
Scott gets to the 36-yard line. A flag on the field in the middle of the field at the 25-yard line. Going to push the Demons back.
Yeah, you're going to mark this off from about the 20, 21-yard line. It's coming back probably close to the 10. Funny thing, though, you talk about him being a kicker and a walk-on and a soccer player. You know what, especially in a place like Georgia, where, you know, a coach will say, well, you got to be a football player too, son. So you make the kicker play either wide receiver or deep, because you got to do something during practice.
Here's the call from our referee, Earl Wilkerson. It's a
George Foster on the field tonight.
block below the knees, below the belt.
But you always tell those kickers, well, you got to do something during practice. It's not the NFL where you ride the stationary bike for an hour and a half. You got to do something.
I don't know. I think more and more you've got those, you got high school programs that are willing to let the guys just come out and kick because they're so valuable. How many teams have we seen this season who can't kick an extra point? And there's the numbers we were talking about for you earlier in the broadcast. 322 yards on the ground. That's an average per game. They've got 181 already tonight. Handoff Rump, the fullback, and he doesn't go anywhere. In fact, Rump actually lost yardage on the play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I counted 6 blue jerseys. What's the rule for an offensive lineman in the wing tee? No penetration. Well, that's all Douglas County had on that play.
And that was big old Sam Reimer. Transfer from Redan. He's in his second year at Douglas County. He's played every game, started every game for the Tigers since he got here. And there's Charles Harris. Charles Harris, another interesting story. He came here from New Orleans because of Hurricane Katrina. His family's staying in a nearby hotel. Handoff. Oh no, big hole for Hamilton. Now it's a foot race. Can Lumbus track him down? Lumbus finally gets him at the 41-yard line.
The Warner Robins staff is too good for you to sell out, for you to key on the tailback. We just talked about how on first down, what that defense do. You penetrated, you flew those linebackers in there. Well, if you're going to do that, we're going to hand it back to the wing back coming back underneath. He splits the defense. We talked about that earlier in the game where he runs between those two linebackers. Wing T, you got to be patient. You get stuffed, you get stuffed, you get stuffed, and then you break a huge one.
So now the ball at the 40-yard line as Warner Robins tearing off chunks of yardage in this ballgame. Handoff to Brandon Anderson. Brandon Anderson lunges forward to the 35-yard line.
Same play that Brandon Anderson scored the touchdown on. Had those two guards out there moving, Willie and Clark. And that time, Brandon Anderson, typically you're going to want to split those two guards and turn it upfield. Anderson has to come all the way out to the hash mark before he can turn it up. It turns into, what are you going to give him there, Matt? 5 yards on that? That was a tremendous 5-yard run by Brandon Anderson.
137 yards already on the night for Brandon Anderson. We talked about him at the top of the broadcast. Doesn't always work out that the guy we talk about at the top of the broadcast ends up being the star, but Brandon Anderson making us look smart tonight. Anderson hops up there to the wingback location. Handoff goes to Hamilton. Nothing doing for Hamilton as Chance Edens, the free safety, comes up to make the tackle. Helped out by Damon Robinson.
Now my question is, what did Brandon Anderson do last year? Besides watching, you know, last year's feature back go for north of 1,000 yards.
Waited his turn. Waited his turn.
At a place like Warner Robins, that's what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Brian Way told us, you know, kids grow up in Warner Robins idolizing the tailback, hoping one day to be that guy on Friday night.
And really, you know, you talk about Way taking over for a coaching legend, Robert Davis down there several years ago. And it was a completely different ball game with Coach Davis.
Handoff, Brandon Anderson. Brandon Anderson almost got away on that one before Jay Lumbus made the tackle. He was one hop, skip, and a jump away from going the distance on that one, too. Dangerous ball carrier, that Brandon Anderson. And Brian Way, talking about him, he's actually third in line behind Robert Davis. They went through a couple of coaches.
Several years ago, Davis left and goes to Bibb County.
Right, went to Westside Macon. Richard Finley followed him, and then Robbie Pruitt was the head coach for 1 year before Brian Way took over. They went through a 3-year period there where they were only 20-13, and they actually missed the playoffs in Robbie Pruitt's 1 year as the head coach.
And you can connect the dots there. That just doesn't do in Warner Robins. And actually, probably Robert Davis's last great team down there in '93. That's when we went down at South Gwinnett when I was coaching and played them. Completely different offense, shotgun 4 wide all the time. Kid named Mark Johnson was the quarterback who wound up being the #8 pick in the Major League Draft. Played catcher for the Chicago White Sox and Oakland A's for about 10 years.
So it's 4th down and less than a yard now for Warner Robins. 238 yards for the Demons already in this ball game. None in the air.
Coach Way would have it no other way.
107 yards for Douglas County, the majority of theirs through the air. 4th down and less than a yard now, with just over 3.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Douglas County, if they've got a defensive stop in them, they need to pull it out of their back pocket right here.
Shane Sams doing exactly what you want your quarterback to do. Hand the ball off.
Hamilton goes in motion. Hand off to Rump, the fullback. He moves the pile, and he'll move the chains. Rump gets the first down.
Well, that's almost unfair. You send either one of those two backs, you tailback or you wing back in motion. You know that's going to catch the attention of the defense, and then you just pound that fullback up there behind that strong side guard. And the kid gets yelled at by his head coach for his troubles.
Yeah, Rump picks up the first down, and the coach screams at him when he comes to the sideline.
I tell you, son, we got to average 329.
1st and 10 for the Demons at the 28-yard line. Brandon Anderson.
Good miss.
Chance Edens comes up from that safety position. We told you earlier that he was a linebacker last year. Well, you can see why. He still plays like a linebacker. They might call him a safety, but that was a linebacker hit right there.
We mentioned in that pregame that he's one of those guys on Douglas County that have you looking out at your hole if you don't watch out. He comes flying up from that free safety position. You wonder, why do you move a linebacker to free safety? Maybe you just want to give him more of a running start.
He got one right there and knocked Brandon Anderson a little bit backwards, which is hard to do.
We need to have Chris Cotter, our sideline reporter, who has no qualms about getting into the huddle, into the offensive meetings, or just give him some like microphones or CSS stickers, and he can just kind of sneak up behind the kid on the sideline, just slap one of those helmet stickers on the kid's head.
Put it on their helmet after they make a big play. Anderson splits out to the top of the screen this time. Hand off to Hamilton. Hamilton, the wing back, doesn't go anywhere that time. Derek Joslin makes the tackle for the Tigers, and now it's going to be 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 10.
And look what's happened. Time running out here. Worst case scenario for Douglas County. Warner Robins scores, and then you don't have time to do anything with the football.
Sams going to the air. Going for the home run. He's got a man out there. Touchdown! Larry Richardson hauls it in.
And for the 2nd straight touchdown, you're going to get an unsportsmanlike call on the Demon that does score. But
from Shane Sams to Larry Richardson, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. For Sams, his 7th touchdown pass, and another unsportsmanlike penalty on Warner Robins.
Your fullback goes for a 1st down, gets blessed out by the coach.
Well,
gentleman catches another touchdown pass, and you know what? Good for Coach Way.
Yeah, he got a 15-yard penalty.
Do what you're supposed to do.
Last time it cost him on David Clark's PAT, and now he's got another long PAT to attempt. This one is going to be good. He puts it through the uprights this time. Let's take another look at the 29-yard touchdown pass to Larry Richardson.
Works off of play action. You have to have a heck of a running game to get any sort of respect on a 3rd and 10. And Richardson just lays out. That's well thrown. Put some air under it. Let your wide receiver run under it.
Dwight Henderson was in the coverage, and Larry Richardson ran right by him. Let's check in with Chris Cotter.
Hey guys, remember in the movie The Christmas Story when the father's boiler, overheated and blew up? That's basically how Coach Way sounded over here on the sideline, discussing with his players the art of handing the football to the official after scoring a touchdown. So guys, we've seen 2 flags already. I don't think we'll see another the rest of the night.
Well, put Coach Way in a good mood. Give him a leg lamp.
A major award.
Fragile A 9-play, 77-yard drive for Warner Robins. Took almost 6 minutes, and the big touchdown pass from Shane Sams to Larry Richardson, the capper at the end for a 20-3 lead.
28 yards long. It may have been just as high going down there. That thing brought down rain. But you know what? What was the quarterback asked to do on that play? Lay it up, let your man run underneath it. And Richardson got what, Matt? A good 3-4 yards beyond the defensive back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of respect for a run game.
Faison will take it from the 5. Faison will go down at about the 22, and Douglas County puts the ball back in play. Need to score some points here with 1:44 to play in the half.
We've mentioned already a couple of times that Douglas County runs a very unusual kickoff return formation. 3 deep backs. Do not be surprised if at some point in this game they do run a reverse, some sort of handoff off of that, because you have 2 speedsters back there with whoever does catch the football.
So 1st and 10 with the ball at the 23-yard line. Douglas County now down 17 points. They really needed a touchdown. The 48-yard field goal they got on their last possession, that was nice. They really needed a touchdown there. They need one right here before they can go into the locker room.
And with 1:44 left, there is no let's just run the clock out and regroup. They're going shotgun double twins formation.
Oh, no, they can't afford to. They can't afford to not score here.
And you talk about how close the game can be. Instead of 14-7, it's 20-3.
Carl Robinson goes in motion for Douglas County, leaving Dobbs in the backfield by himself. Going to fire out here. Complete. Oh, what a hit! What a hit! That was nasty.
My goodness.
Xavier Jackson. Listen to it. Oh.
And Carl Robinson.
Now, here's where you're going to hear it. Oh, man. Jarred some fillings loose in the mouth of Demarius Pipkins.
Pipkins can go home with his teeth in his wallet at this point.
2nd down and 10. Dobbs wanting to throw again. He's got pass protection. Has a man open. It's complete to Page at the 44-yard line. Nice job to hum it out there. Now, that's a long throw by Ricky Dobbs right there, and he put it on the line.
That was probably 30 yards or so back towards the near sideline. And you know what he did? You could see him looking downfield. He really wanted to go to the deep route. Instead, he took the underneath route. It's a heck of an aggressive offense when your underneath route goes for about 18 yards. And the kid gets up and squeezes it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Levante Page with the pass reception.
And he's the guy that came out of the backfield.
18th catch of the year for Page. Douglas County trying to move. Pump fake. Wants to go to Juwan Jones. Now has to scramble around back there and run for his life. Crosses the 50. Still on his feet. Across the 40 and steps out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Maurice Gray is one of the best players I've seen this season. If we can see the replay, I hope that you can tell that Maurice Gray not only provides the coverage on the deep receiver, does not go for the pump fake, but he's also the demon that comes up and forces Dobbs out of bounds. The reason Dobbs is running is because Maurice Gray has blanket coverage, and then who comes up and forces him out of bounds? Number 11, Maurice Gray.
You're seeing 2 great football players here tonight in Ricky Dobbs and Maurice Gray. Not the only ones, but on that particular play. Quarterback draw, Dobbs across the 30. Dobbs down to the 24-yard line. Dobbs picked up a 1st down on that play, and a man down for Warner Robins right now is Stephen Clark.
Oh, I can't have that. That affects you 2 ways.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Clark playing on the defensive line.
He's that kid.
We've already seen him a number of times pulling from his offensive guard position. In fact, Brian Way, who has coached at Warner Robins for 22 years, says that Stephen Clark is the finest offensive lineman he has ever coached.
That's a bold statement at a school like Warner Robins.
Brian Way out there to help his young guard off the field.
They had a 2-way starter named Ron Simmons there.
Yeah,
about 24 years ago. Went on to Florida State and I believe Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yes, he did. Ronald Simmons was a Seminole. Here's some other names for you from Warner Robins history. How about James Brooks?
Pretty fair as a college and NFL player.
Willie Reed.
Still doing it.
Ben Smith.
First-round draft pick, I believe.
Out of the University of Georgia, Jimmy Womack played for the Bulldogs.
Yep.
George Collins played for the Bulldogs. Steve Boswell played for the Bulldogs.
Womack was back on that 80 team as well.
He was. Carlton Sanders, who's at Middle Tennessee State right now, freshman.
Doing great things for Andy McCullum up there.
1st and 10 for Douglas County. They've got it at the 24-yard line with a minute 4 to play.
Taking them 40 seconds to move all the way down the field. And you know what you've seen is a slight change in coverage, going more umbrella in that secondary, locking up man on the outside and providing 2 guys deep in the middle, but then also very aggressive play calling from Douglas County, and it's paid off for the Tigers. They're in position to do something good.
Let's see if Douglas County can score here as the field gets a little tighter. Pass in the middle. Might have been tipped before it was able to get to Pipkins, the tight end. They were trying to get it to Pipkins. He was being covered by T.J. Purdue. Ball might have been deflected at the line. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, Brian Buford, linebacker, number 44, got his big paws up there.
2nd down and 10.
And this is not a week 2 or a week 3 matchup where you have 1 guy on defense and maybe 1 or 2 on offense. You've got names all over these rosters. Single coverage at the top of the field.
Dobbs firing, complete, touchdown, Carl Robinson. Douglas County gets in the end zone for the first time tonight as Dobbs threads the needle on a 25-yard touchdown pass to Carl Robinson, and it is now 20-9.
A little bit of mustard on that pass, Matt Stewart?
I'd say.
I don't think there was arc on this football. Zip into the end zone. Touchdown, Douglas County. It took them all of 50 seconds. That's why you were talking earlier, Douglas County is prepared to come back from a deficit. They are running that down the field vertical offense. They can do it.
Carl Robinson with his 7th touchdown catch of the season. Miera puts it through the pipes, and with 54 seconds to play in the half, Douglas County cuts Warner Robins' lead in half. Man, Robinson threaded that needle.
I think he caught that in self-defense.
Actually caught it a little bit behind him.
Now you're talking about some zip on that football.
Now, who does Dobbs remind you of? A quarterback that we saw a year ago who ended up being our CSS Offensive Player of the Year. Brandon Jones, Marietta.
Brandon Jones
now playing at Ohio University.
Yeah, Coach Solich up there. And Brandon Jones, that's actually a good comparison because it looks, you know, we've talked about how you see sometimes at high school, just out of necessity, you want to get your best ball in the hands of your best player. You see there 6 plays, 78 yards, 50 seconds. Down the field, 78 yards and 50 seconds. That's the most impressive part of that. But you want to put the football in the hands of your best player. So many times you pick the best athletes, say, son, I'm going to teach you to play quarterback. You haven't taught Brandon Jones anything. You haven't taught Ricky Dobbs anything. They are quarterbacks who also happen to be able to run very fast.
Well, Miera will kick off for Douglas County as the Tigers have half the Demons' lead. It's 20-10, and now the emphasis comes on that Douglas County defense. They can't give up another big, long run to Douglas County. Douglas County might not have the explosiveness, as that ball will not be returned. Warner Robins might not have the explosiveness of the Douglas County offense, not from the passing game, but we've already seen from any point on the field, they're liable to break a long run and score.
Well, your Hail Mary may be a quick pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, you may run, you know, a toss, you may run a sweep, a quick pitch, and have it go for 70.
So Warner Robins will put the ball in play from the 20-yard line with 54 seconds to play here in the half. A very entertaining first 2 quarters. Hope you've enjoyed it. 20-10. Warner Robins leading this first-round playoff game in the GHSA Quad A bracket. Handoff Hamilton. Watch out for Antoine Hamilton.
We just said it, and he was one player away from really breaking into the secondary and changing the final 50 seconds of this half. As it is, Coach Way is going to let the sand run out of the hourglass.
I'll tell you what, Phil Williams, the head coach for Douglas County, his heart might skip a beat every time they hand the ball off because they are so lightning quick. They hit those holes, and if you get by that line of scrimmage, they've got the speed to take it the distance. 2nd down. Fullback carry this time. Powell up to the 35-yard line, and that might be the final play of the half. Clock stopped 18 seconds to move the chains.
clock running again. Looks like Warner Robins going to take one more shot at this. Rest assured, Sam's is going to hand the ball off. Good trot to the sidelines.
No wide receivers here. Handoff, Antoine Hamilton. Watch out for him. Watch out. Gets out across the 50-yard line and finally out of bounds at the 45-yard
That's just silly, Matt.
line. And is there a flag? Did they drop a flag? I think there's a flag, and that means the half isn't over. Half cannot end on a defensive penalty. That means Warner Robins is going to get another snap of the ball here.
And that's a dicey one because that's tacked on to the end.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like you got stuffed and you're going to get another play from the original line of scrimmage. That's tacked on to the end.
Well, let's see if it's a 15-yard variety as Earl Wilkerson gives the call. Take another look at it here. Looks like Damon Robinson is going to be the offending party. Yep.
Well, he got him a handful of it too, didn't he?
He didn't let go. That might be a 15-yarder.
Boy, he didn't get cheated on that one. That's dangerous.
That's a 15-yard mark-off. That's going to put the ball at the 30-yard line. That's where they threw the pass from a few minutes ago and scored the touchdown.
28-yard pass there, a rainbow to Richardson.
Well, they're only going to mark it off 5 yards. The Warner Robins side of this crowd at Tiger Stadium wasn't happy with the call. They thought it should be a 15-yarder.
Well, of course they're not. They want another state title.
So there will be one more play run here with no time on the clock.
And I see Lobertini out on the field with his tee.
Well, they're going to call a timeout here. Lobertini is their long field goal kicker. This would be a 57-yarder.
Let's say, you got Chris Gardocki back again.
Lobertini, by the way, is 0 for 2 on field goal attempts this season. Let's check in with Chris Cotter.
Yeah, the coaching staff down here at Warner Robins thought that was going to be marked off as a 15-yard penalty, but since it was only the incidental 5-yard face mask, the field goal try is going to be nixed.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Had the